Have you ever wondered what it truly means to live a happy life? Is happiness something that's tied to wealth, achievements, or even love? Or is it something more profound, something deep within us waiting to be discovered? The story you're about to hear will take you on a journey into the heart of Zen, where the true meaning of happiness is revealed. But it's not a journey about obtaining or chasing happiness. It's about finding the peace and joy that already exists inside you. Are you ready to explore the Zen path and uncover the secret to living happily? The Restless Prince. Long ago, in a peaceful kingdom nestled among serene mountains, there was a prince named Haran. From a young age, Haran had everything a person could wish for: luxurious palaces, lavish meals, countless servants, and the affection of his people. Yet despite all this, Haran was restless. Something inside him felt incomplete, as though he was missing a vital piece of life. The glitter of gold and the weight of responsibility did little to quell the emptiness in his heart. One evening, as Haran sat on the balcony of his grand palace, staring at the sunset, his father, the wise old king, joined him. "Why do you look so troubled, my son?" the king asked, his voice gentle and kind. Haran sighed deeply. "Father, I have all that one could dream of, yet I feel so empty. I long for something deeper. I seek happiness, true happiness, but I don't know where to find it." The king smiled knowingly. "Happiness is not something that can be found outside of you, Haran. It is not in riches, power, or even love from others. Happiness is a path, a journey within. Tomorrow I will send you to meet a Zen master. He will show you the way." Haran's curiosity was piqued. "A Zen master?" he repeated. "But what can he teach me that I don't already know?" The king chuckled softly. "Much, my son. He will teach you what it means to truly live happily." The encounter with the Zen master. The next morning, Haran set out on his journey, leaving behind the grandeur of the palace. After traveling for several days through the mountains, he finally arrived at a small, humble monastery. The simplicity of the place surprised him. No jewels, no riches, just a serene landscape and the sound of the wind gently brushing through the trees. At the heart of the monastery, sitting cross-legged on a flat rock, was Master Zensho, an old monk with a peaceful smile that seemed to hold the wisdom of the universe. Haran bowed before him. "Master, I have come seeking happiness. My father told me that you can show me the way." Zensho's eyes sparkled with kindness. "Happiness, you say?" he replied. "What makes you believe it is something to be sought, like a treasure?" Haran hesitated. I don't know. I've been told it is something we must find in life." Master Zensho chuckled softly. "Happiness, young prince, is not something you chase. It is something you uncover, like a clear sky hidden behind clouds. The more you seek it, the more elusive it becomes." Haran frowned, puzzled. "But how am I supposed to live happily if I cannot seek it?" Zensho gestured to a small cushion beside him, inviting Haran to sit. "Let me tell you a story," the master began, his voice like the soft rustle of leaves. "There was once a young man, much like yourself, who sought happiness outside of himself. He traveled far and wide, seeking joy in everything: possessions, relationships, achievements. But the more he gathered, the more dissatisfied he became. One day, he met a wise old sage who asked him a single question that changed his life. What remains when you let go of all your desires?" Haran looked confused. "And what was the answer?" The master smiled. He discovered that what remained was peace, joy, and contentment, the very essence of happiness. The first lesson, letting go. Haran stayed at the monastery, eager to learn more from the wise master. Zensho's first lesson was simple yet profound: let go. Every morning, Zensho would take Haran to the top of a hill where they would meditate, watching the sunrise. At first, Haran found it difficult. His mind was constantly racing, thoughts of his kingdom, his responsibilities, his unfulfilled desires. "Master," Haran confessed one day, "I cannot quiet my mind. I try to focus, but my thoughts are overwhelming. How can I let go?" Zensho smiled warmly. "It is not about stopping the thoughts, my dear prince. It is about not holding on to them. Let them pass like clouds drifting across the sky." Haran took a deep breath and closed his eyes. He began to notice his thoughts, but didn't cling to them. Slowly he felt a sense of lightness, as if a burden had been lifted. In the weeks that followed, Haran practiced the art of letting go, not just of his thoughts, but of his need to control everything in his life. He realized that his restlessness came from his constant striving, his never-ending desire for more. One day, after a particularly deep meditation, Haran looked at Zensho and said, "I feel something different, Master. It's as if the weight I carried has dissolved." The old monk nodded approvingly. When you let go of the need to control, you make space for peace. That peace, my prince, is the foundation of happiness. The second lesson, living in the present moment. One evening, as they sat under the stars, Zensho introduced Haran to the second teaching, living in the present moment. "Tell me, Prince Haran," the master began, "where do you spend most of your time? Thinking of the past, worrying about the future, or simply being here, now?" Haran thought for a moment. "I suppose I spend much of my time in the past or future," he admitted. "I often think of what has been or what will be." Zensho smiled. "And does that bring you peace?" Haran shook his head. "No, it only makes me anxious." "The mind is like a pendulum," Zensho explained. "It swings from past to future, rarely stopping in the present. But the present is the only place where life truly happens. Happiness is not found in what was or what will be, it is found here, in this very moment." Zensho then handed Haran a simple task. "Take this cup of tea and drink it slowly. Don't think of anything but the taste, the warmth, the act of drinking. Be fully present with it." At first, Haran thought the exercise was trivial, but as he focused solely on the tea, something remarkable happened. For the first time in a long while, his mind was quiet. He wasn't thinking about his kingdom, his responsibilities, or his desires. He was simply present, and in that moment he felt a profound sense of peace and joy. "I understand now," Haran said softly. "Happiness is here, in the present. I just need to stop running from it." The third lesson, compassion and connection. As Haran's journey with Master Zensho continued, the next lesson arrived unexpectedly. One day, while walking through a nearby village, Haran and Zensho encountered a poor farmer struggling to carry a heavy load. Without hesitation, Zensho stepped forward to help. Haran followed his example, and together they lightened the man's burden. Later that evening, Haran asked, "Master, why did you help the farmer? You didn't know him and you owe him nothing." Zensho smiled gently. "Happiness, my dear prince, is not just about our own inner peace. It is about our connection with others. When we help those around us, when we show compassion and kindness, we nurture the happiness in ourselves and in others." Haran reflected on this. "So happiness isn't just an individual pursuit?" "No," Zensho replied. "It is a shared experience. True happiness comes from realizing that we are all interconnected. When you ease the suffering of another, you ease your own. Compassion is the key that opens the heart to boundless joy." Haran began to see the truth in Zensho's words. He noticed that when he helped others, whether by a kind word, a gentle deed, or simply by being present, his own heart felt lighter, more joyful. He no longer felt as alone in his journey. The realization of true happiness. Months passed, and Haran's time with Master Zensho drew to a close. The restless prince who had arrived at the monastery was now a changed man. He had learned to let go, to live in the present, and to open his heart with compassion. On the morning of his departure, Haran sat with Zensho one last time. "Master," Haran began, "I came here seeking happiness, but what I've found is so much more. I have found peace, joy, and contentment within myself. Is this what it means to live happily?" Zensho's eyes twinkled. "You have discovered the truth, my prince. Happiness is not something to be pursued or achieved. It is the natural state of being when we let go of our attachments, live in the present, and connect with the world around us. It is already within you." Haran smiled, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. "Thank you, Master. I will carry these teachings with me always." Zensho bowed his head. "Remember, Prince Haran, happiness is a path, not a destination. Continue to walk it with an open heart, and you will live happily." As Haran returned to his kingdom, he carried with him the wisdom of Zen, a wisdom that transformed his life from one of constant striving to one of peaceful being. He ruled with kindness and compassion, living each moment fully and helping others along the way. This story, though a tale of an ancient prince, carries a timeless message for all of us. Happiness is not something we need to chase. It is not in the material, not in the future, and not in the past. It is in the present, waiting to be uncovered within us. Through the Zen teachings of letting go, living in the moment, and cultivating compassion, we too can live happily. So, I invite you to reflect on your own life. What can you let go of? How can you be more present? And in what ways can you bring kindness and connection into the world around you? The path to happiness is right here, right now. Will you take the first step?